Hi, and welcome back to Taking Funnel Hacking by Storm. This is where you learn how 97 entrepreneurs just like you each created their own 7-figure funnel and how you are literally just one funnel away from your own 7-figure success story. I'm going to start out with this today, and I took some notes for today's episode to show you the math behind what it takes to be successful. But let's start out with this quote here first. And the quote is, "Wisdom or mastery is the skill you get by doing the thing." Okay? So wisdom is the skill you get by doing the thing. So many people say to me, "Bill, you know what? You just make it look easy." And what they don't really see is the behind the scenes on the number of repetitions I've put in to get really, really good at something. So I'm not naturally good at something. I just have determined in my mind that I'm going to master something, right? It's simply a decision. Yesterday I talked about the word decide, and it comes from the root of day and side, which means day means from and side means cut off. So what I've done is I've literally cut myself off from any other possibility other than mastery of the thing that I need to get good at. So let me give you an example. I've been a lifelong martial artist. In the past, for the past 9 years, I've been studying Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Well, this is not something that comes easy, right? In fact, in order to get your black belt in Jiu-Jitsu, it takes about 10 years. That means that you have to put in a lot of repetitions in order to feel what we call the flow, right? Where things happen automatically, right? Without thinking. You have to get past the thinking point to where it's just the doing point. And the only way for that to happen is to put in the reps. So as I've progressed in Jiu-Jitsu, of course, just like everything else, I've just simply made that decision. I've cut myself off from any other possibility other than to become very, very good at it. And one of the ways that I do that is just by simply showing up for class every day, okay? So when I say every day, I mean 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. So I'm putting in 5 days of training, 5 days of learning every single week. Now, someone else may also train consistently every single week, but if they only come 2 times per week, they are only putting in, or I'm putting in 2.5 times the number of training sessions or learning sessions that they are. So it would only make sense that I would progress a little bit faster. So it may look like, hey, over time, it may look like you make this look easy, right? But in fact, it has nothing to do with that. The only thing it has to do with is I've just put in more reps than they have. So naturally, I'm going to be a little bit better. So let's do some math on this so you can understand what this means. Whether it's jiu-jitsu or whether it's your business, you have to get excited, right? About the fundamentals, just getting really good at the basics and doing the number of reps so many times that it becomes internalized and it just becomes automatic. Remember, I said that wisdom or mastery is the skill you get by actually doing the thing. So if I train 5 days a week, and let's say there's 50 weeks in a year, I take 2 weeks off, right? That would be 250 hours or lessons or classes that I've taken, 250 per year. Now, what does that mean over 10 years, right? I had said before that it takes approximately 10 years to earn your black belt in Jiu-Jitsu. Well, that means if I put in 250 hours or classes per year, that would be times 10 years, that would be 2,500 training hours, all right? Or 2,500 times I've done the repetition to feel the flow and make it automatic. Now, someone else who is equally dedicated but just isn't able to put in the same kind of time for whatever reason, maybe their work schedule or whatever the case may be, they just can't get there as often as I do, but they are consistent and they train twice a week and they train every single week. They don't skip any weeks. They train twice a week for 50 weeks. Well, that's 100 hours a year versus my 250, right? And if they multiply that by 10 years, that would be 1,000 hours. We call it MAT hours. So that person is dedicated, they're committed, and they put in 1,000 MAT hours, but in the same time period, I put in 2.5 times that. I put in 2,500 MAT hours. So naturally, my skill level should be better. Now, assuming that we're both, our natural abilities or physical talents are similar, right? And the only difference, the only determining factor between the two people is time. So the lesson here is this, is you can literally master anything. You do not have to be gifted in order to be successful. You don't have to be a technology wizard, right, in order to understand how to use sales funnels, for example, to grow a 7-figure business. In fact, usually what will happen is the person that has the better habits, the person who is willing to take the daily consistent action, and they simply have the pig-headed persistence to win, will outperform somebody who's naturally talented, who is only good for a short time, and then they give up, they get bored, and they go on to something else, okay? So again, mastery or wisdom is the skill you get by doing the thing. Now, at this point, if you are trying to build a 7-figure business, or grow any business for that matter, if you're starting from scratch even and you're deciding that, hey, I'm going to be successful and this is what I want to do full time so I don't have to go get a job working for somebody else, the decision is going to come down to whether or not you choose to be the kind of person that will be consistent and you'll go after it, and your goal is mastery. It's not to be sort of good or kind of good or know just enough. Inside your soul, right? Inside your being, you're the kind of person that decides whatever you do, you are going to go all in. So hopefully that makes a lot of sense. Take a look at your daily habits. And if you want to improve on something, just make a commitment and set a schedule. So if the most you can do to learn about your new business, right? Or to learn about growing your business is twice a week, that's great. If you can do 5 times a week, that's better. It just depends on what kind of time commitment that you have. And then more than anything, be patient with yourself, right? Once you start learning something, you start developing a habit, give yourself a good solid year to start to master these skills. One of the platforms, right, or the actual learning course that I have encouraged everyone to start learning is the same course that I present on stage, and it's called Funnel Builder Secrets, right? And the idea behind that is simply to do what I did, right, as a beginner when I first started the martial arts, and that is to practice the fundamentals, right? To show up every day and not expect a miracle, right? But just to show up and just get really good at the basics. Then once you understand the basics, right, and you've gotten to a certain point, now you can see a little bit further, and now you're going to be able to take the next step in building that 7-figure business that you're really looking for. Hey, if you need some help, right, the first thing that I would do is I would visit my website. Go to billstorm.com, and I just finished my new book, right? And the title of it is What It Really Takes to Make $20,000 a Month Online. So you can head over there, billstorm.com, and you can download a copy. It's free. There's no credit card required or anything like that. It's just a great resource for you to get your feet wet and learn a little bit more about what it takes to be successful online. So you can do that. On that page, you can also find my other links to find me on different social media platforms, right? So you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, right, if you'd like to do that. If you prefer Facebook, you can join my Facebook group, Taking Funnel Hacking by Storm Facebook group. There's Instagram, there's LinkedIn, there is a webinar, my full stage presentation webinar, where you can really learn a lot more about funnels and to see if they're going to be right for you, or how to use funnels in order to scale and go to the next level in your business. I've got tons of examples in there of different people that are just like you that have done it. There's no magic behind this, right? I know there sometimes when you hear something like, well, there's some secrets, right? Usually I'll call BS when somebody says there's a secret, but the thing is, there really are some things that may not be secret to everybody, but if they're secret to you, they're a secret. And I know there were 3 things in particular that were secret to me that if I had known about what those were beforehand, right, years ago, it would have saved me a lot of grief and aggravation. So if you're interested in learning about what those things are, what my big aha moments were, and how it's helped me transform my business, again, you can go to my website, billstorm.com, and down at the bottom, there is a link right there, and you can watch that full-length webinar, okay? So that's it for today. Thanks so much for tuning in, and look forward to being back with you again tomorrow.